So, the story starts.
Oh, right. Much better. So 2024, I think it's safe to say, was a pretty solid year for music. I've seen some music critics call it one of the biggest years in pop in a long time. The Kendrick Lamar and Drake feud led to one of the biggest entertainment stories of the year, it gave us the song of the summer, and it finished out with a pretty solid Kendrick album. And across genres, there was enough room for newcomers to have these breakout years, while well-established stars put out new material that was all well received. Overall, it was a pretty good time. And some of that momentum managed to carry over into films. Wicked Part 1 was a cultural event. Netflix's big award season bid just won at the Golden Globes, and both have a decent shot at some Oscars hardware. There were even attempts to shake up the format with the much-maligned music biopic subgenre. A Complete Unknown narrowed its focus and thrived on a great Timothée Chalamet performance. Piece by Piece gave us the first Lego animated film in years. And then there's Better Man, the Robbie Williams biopic that's getting a wide release in the US this weekend. If you've heard about this one, it's probably because you know about the Gimmick. Williams is depicted throughout the film as a CGI chimpanzee, using the same VFX studio that brought us the recent Planet of the Apes movies.
What a wonderful day!
Directed by The Greatest Showman's Michael Gracie, the film chronicles several decades of Williams' life as he acquired massive fame and success in the UK, all while battling serious substance abuse and mental health issues. Now, personally, I have no skin in the game when it comes to Williams. I wasn't alive when his boy band Take That launched, and was only a child during his failed attempt to become a star here in the US. I went in thinking the CGI ape idea was simply going to be an attention-grabbing gimmick. Just like how Piece by Piece's Lego presentation covered up the lack of depth in talking about Pharrell Williams, I assumed this would be a surface-level visual shakeup that would just grab a few headlines before getting tossed on the generic biopic pile right next to Bohemian Rhapsody. What I got was something deeper, darker, and a hell of a lot more interesting. This is actually pretty good. In many ways, it's an inverse of A Complete Unknown. While that film deliberately kept the audience at arm's length from its subject, with this we stay inside Williams' head the entire time, whether it's through his narration or the many ways the film depicts his internal self-loathing and clinical depression. The big surprise is just how much the film gets out of that CGI rendering. For starters, there are times where you'll just forget that Williams' character is supposed to be an ape, partially because he otherwise talks and moves like a human, but also because Weta has gotten obscenely good at making these creatures look as real as possible. And because we're dealing with a CGI character from the start, you don't get pulled out when the more fantastical, dreamlike sequences kick in. Going back to those Complete Unknown comparisons, Better Man takes a significantly different approach to its music. While the first film presents the music as very matter-of-fact, as though you're seated for a concert, this one wants all the pomp and circumstance of a live Broadway show. And it's during those musical scenes where you're reminded why Gracie was able to turn The Greatest Showman into a phenomenon. The camera is constantly moving, and the choreography is intricate and bombastic while using dozens of extras. It's a lot of fun. And just when you think the movie is going to take the easy route with its big climactic concert, it throws a visceral, violent curveball while taking the phrase "at war with yourself" incredibly literally. Also, I appreciated that while Williams is heavily involved in the movie, he's not trying to whitewash his own legacy. He freely admits he's been a self-destructive jerk over the years and isn't looking to hide from that. If the film has any weaknesses, I'd say it wraps up a little too cleanly. Any attempts to try and break down a person's life into a neat three-act structure is gonna come off as a little bit forced. It doesn't help that Williams is still alive, he's only 50, and he's still making music. But for a film where I had little to no expectations beyond a fun novelty gimmick, Better Man wound up being much more introspective than I expected. I'd say it's worth a look. Thanks for watching.